So far so good. So we have reached module 7 part 2. So out of 8 core modules where I will be taking you through the journey of Power BI, we are already in the module 7th part 2 of it, right? So by now you have understood that, okay, Power BI as a tool, the focus when we started off, we thought that, okay, the focus will be more on the preparation and then analysis, expressions and all this stuff. But now you see that this is more of the visualization perspective that it is opening up to. And yes, visualization is the key factor. Whenever we talk about data analysis, the key part that we need to be focusing on, I mean, we say that, okay, any data analysis has two objectives. One is to explore and one is to explain. But I believe there is a slight, you can say a move or a heavier side on the visualization part. So in terms of the Power BI, I'm talking about. So there are data engineering, the careers, there is like the data science part of it, data analysis part of it, business intelligence part of it. So many learning paths are there. But end of the day, you just understand. If you just consider me as a person, so suppose what are the qualities that you are seeing with me? So first of all, I can understand data. I can explain the data and not just like that explaining. So I am explaining the data with some statistical inferences. And then if you notice it, that I am facing the camera as well at times. And I am also not hesitant in facing the camera, or I am, let's say, I have videos and I have, let's say, audios, tracks, podcasts. So all these things I have, you can say that it's all in a cumulative manner that we work on. So only me putting things on a sheet and then explaining it will not happen, which will not make me great. Only if I just open the Power BI and say that you understand, that will also not work. If I just stand in front of a camera and then just talk, that will also not work in all the times. There are people who just talk in front of cameras and that's a different ballgame altogether. So I want to talk based on data. That is the USP that I carry with me. So I will talk and talk with the data. So here in this particular module, we will be talking about the Q&A visual in detail, what we do with the Q&A visual. Quick insights, we will see what is the quick insights and how it can be added, how it can be achieved, or how it can be taken to a report. Basically, it will be from the report part, it will be from the, the dashboard part mainly. Taking the inferences, taking the reference points that is generated by the analytics pane. So that also we will be looking at. And finally, the play axis. So all these things we will see in detail how these concepts work. If you go from the Q&A perspective, so you have an option through which today you can directly derive output out of a particular data. So we will see how this quick insights results can be, also the results can be implemented. We will see that as well. What are quick insight reports? And so this back to back, these two things. So we will talk about the quick insights and we will be talking about the Q&A visual. So both these things, let's have a demo. So first of all, the Q&A. So we have already talked about Q&A in our last module. So if you notice over here, there are 4 visuals which showcases data in 4 different perspectives. So suppose even if you talk about this visual, it is showcasing the data around the map, let's say. So Sometimes what happens is, so suppose let me just give this a small chunk of space, and let me cover most of the chunk, if I may do so. And then what I do is I take another section over here and I bring in the Q&A. And this Q&A, what I want is that it should be showcasing. So I will say show revenue. So show total revenue. And I say by, and we have got by customers and by country. So we have all done these things. And we say by category, right? So by category. So category name, you can say, right? And then we say as. So you need to be a bit slow over here, because every character you are typing, it is interpreting this particular in a particular way. So you can see that it has now converted into a tree map. Now there are some small tricks and tips that we need to take care of while working with the Q&A. So what happens and how it is able to understand my country, map, total revenue and all these things. So suppose even if instead of total revenue, if you just say, let's say margin, let's see what happens. So if you simply say margin, it doesn't give anything. Instead of margin, if you say show total turnover, let's see what happens. It understands what do you mean by turnover. So turnover is now converted into revenue, and it is able to capture that particular details over here. So most of the cases you will find that the common terms are already implemented, but the question is how come when actually speaking, if you look at this entire field list, you will see that the original column was named as freight. So this was the original column. This freight was converted into total revenue over here like this. So you have the total revenue which was coming from freight as a column. This total revenue now, when I am coming to this Q&A, is converting to total turnover. Now how this is happening inside. So these are all terms that it is able to capture when you are looking for any kind of data visualization. So let's see how it works. So here you will see there is an option which is looking like a gear symbol. So what you need to do is you can just click on the gear symbol and it will take you to the Q&A setup. In Q&A setup, the most important section is the synonym part. So you see synonym, and all the synonyms are segregated over here. You can see the synonym very, very clearly. And there you can see field synonyms. If you just open it, and you will see that all the synonyms for, let's say, category, if you say category, category is category. And suppose I'll just give you an example. Instead of category, I want to call it as, let's say, section. So, product section or product division, something like this. I click over here and I say division and I press enter. So it captures, it understands that category can be called as division also. You go down and you say that, okay, we have total revenue as a measure. So this can be done for any kind of attribute, or it can be done for any kind of measure also. So you go down and see that, okay, you have total revenue somewhere. So this is total revenue. So now I say that total revenue, there are other things also, total turnover, see, total profit, total turnover, income, and all these things are there. So let's take an example. I'm just taking separate, let's say some other term, let's say. So I go here and say add, and I say total revenue, and revenue can be termed as income also, yield also, profit also, and I'm using some, let's say, some regional word I'm using. So this is some regional language word, and I'm calling it as, let's say, munafa. So munafa is a Arabic word, I think, or is an it's a Devanagari word or something. So I'm giving that name over here. So and I say enter. It understands. It is like I'm just teaching this Q&A to do this kind of manipulations in data. So now what I say is it is just working. It will just rearrange everything. And now what I will do is I will say show munafa, and it understands. So show munafa, it understands over here. And instead of category, if you see category, if I just say instead of category, you give it something like this, show division as tree map, it understands division as tree map as well. So it understands this. So it goes through the entire cycle of all the mapping that has happened, and it picks up these details, right? So this is how data can be segregated and it can be captured using a Q&A feature, right? So imagine when you are actually publishing this particular report. So right now I'm talking about city, somebody can just change and say country. I'm talking about country, somebody can just put it in the city. You're talking about tree map, I want to as a completely as a bar chart or pie chart or something like this. Everything is possible. So this becomes, actually speaking, this becomes a ground for, the users to, look into different possibilities of how to, visualize the data, if I may say like that. So now when you take this particular data, and now everything is done. So what we do is we just take this to publish mode. And I straight away go to my masterclass, select it, and it will say, so it is now able to, because this is a new file, so it will not say replace, but it will be taking it to the next level. So both of them have similar data, but still it is going to take it in a different level altogether. So yeah. So eventually in this particular forum, what we will do is we will be talking about getting data from different sources, and then we will see how all of them can be brought together into one platform to do any kind of analysis, including the dashboarding part or something like this, right? So those all things we will be seeing in this module, mainly module number 7. So while this is getting refreshed, so we will just have a look at the location. So, and you can see that with the module 6, so instantly within some time you will see that module 7 will also be coming. Module 7 as let's say the visuals also, it will be appearing over here. So directly one by one all the files and the data sets. If the data set is different, it will bring in data set also. Otherwise only the report will be coming over here. So this is all now still publishing. So the once this entire thing, because it is now growing into a full size report, because we have added so many, not only the measures, but we have added so many visuals and concepts over here as well. So the stats analysis itself is a very typical kind of visualization that we have mentioned and approached over here for. So there are many such visuals. I mean, some of the visuals are related to, let's say, we have the waterfall chart and other charts and all the details are there. Ribbon chart is there. So I will be showing you those charts also. Let this get published. So we have ribbon charts also to be discussed. And then what we will do is we will be moving on to the next section of this particular part, wherein we will be discussing about how to get uh, so we have got the module anyways. So we look into the module and see how far it is being loaded. I think it is loaded properly. So it should be loaded over here. So maybe because of sometimes because of connectivity or because of some reasons that there could be some issues while publishing, but you can always retract it again. So now what I was talking about is this part. So you can see here tree map. So now this is for the user. So now suppose a user is seeing this. So instead of, let's say, tree map, he or she wants to see it as a pie. So it will immediately convert it into a pie. So you can see that how you are giving power to the business user, right? So directly you are giving access to the business user to work on this as you speak, right? So that's what I was referring to. Now, once you have got these particular data points, I mean, once you have got the data points over here, one more important option that comes over here as a part of more options is the feature of Quick Insights. So Quick Insights, actually, it is now running on module number 7, and it will again take some time to give you the insights. What it does, it runs through all your data points, not necessarily the ones that you have only pasted in the report, but the other ones also, and then it goes to going to view insights. So you go to view insights, and you will see that it will showcase the reports and the visualizations that it has got from the entire list of or all the data sets that it has been churning around, right? So it is just waiting for the data sets to load over here. Sometimes it might take some time to just get these insights, because it runs some of the AI powered engines to get this data over here. So let me see. So we have the data sets over here. So let's try and see for the other ones. So which is the old data which was loaded successfully. Maybe this data could not be loaded properly or successfully, and it got interrupted due to some reasons. So maybe the case. So what we are doing is now we are moving, opening this particular insights for module number 6, and let's see what happens. So it gives you all the data. So this is the type of analysis we were referring to. So here you can see this is a time series, and this is showing you some outliers, actually not exactly time series, but it's showing you an outlier. Then you have this chart which is just showing you that the data is almost relatively static, and this is an example of a correlation of data. This is also an example of outlier. You can see all the data points are here, but there is one point which is not matching this entire pattern, and it's the outlier. So all statistical, and this one also you have seen how this can be calculated, or this can be seen as an outlier, that you can also see. This is an outlier. Suppose now this particular data, which is the average price, and we were not aware of this particular product, by the way. So I wanted to take it to the dashboard. So what you can do is you can just say existing dashboard, and it can be moved directly to that particular dashboard, even without going to any other place. You can just go to the dashboard over here, and along with all the data that we have pasted over here, this dashboard should be carrying the so it should be carrying the last section also, which is the part that we have just pasted over here. So the last part, which is the average of unit, which we just got from the data perspective. So sometimes there could be some, due to our network or somewhere. So there could be some reasons of slowness, but it is not the case. I mean, let it just appear, let it just come back. So it has come back now. You can see sometimes it might so you can see that the quick insights are available over here. So the quick insight directly from the backstage of the report using the data, we brought it into the desktop the dashboard part of it, right? Okay, so yeah, so because it was a full page, that's why it took some time to bring in the data. Okay, so then we will look into the feature of play axis. So the play axis is again a very interesting feature of Power BI, which allows you to put some correlation of data and then play it on a particular time band or something like this. So let's see how this feature works. So what I have done is I have got one data. So I will be back to back showcasing you two examples. One, so first of all, we will just have a look at the data, what we have got. So one data is from the baby names. So there is a file. It is available with us as a data set. And if you go to general, you will see these baby names. So these baby names, if you just notice over here, let's see this. So if you look at this particular data and the data that we have just got over here, they are both same. So you can see once we open this particular CSV. So this CSV, like this, you can see this data. This is the same data that you can see in our Power BI also. And this data has been used using a custom visual called the animated bar chart race. So we can go to custom visual, and from custom visual we have brought the animated bar chart race. This particular stunning visual. So I just go to demo. The idea is, how do you present this? How do you present the data? Data you have seen, and what we have done for the data is that, so I'll just show you. So data, what we have done is, we have just got the year and the name, and we wanted to find out the popularity of these names. And we go to this demo, and you will see. So over the years, so now from 1920, you have data till 2010. So much of data, you have it over here. And in the 1990s, or sorry, in the 1920s and 30s, so Mary and Mary were the most popular names, and suddenly you see the names like Shirley, Margaret and Barbara. These names were popular in the 1940s along with Mary and Mary, which were there in the top two for almost around 3 to 4 decades. Then comes the name Linda. So suddenly the name Linda comes in, and then again after Linda also, then the Mary again takes the first and second place. And in 1960s somewhere, you can see Suzanne and Deborah. These names are relevant, and you can see Mary and Mary, but still, I mean, even if you talk about 1960s, till 1960s, this Mary and Mary were very popular until when the baby boom started actually. So people started giving different names to their babies, but still in 1970s, you can see that Jennifer, this particular Jennifer name was so popular that it was the top popular name for almost a decade or something like this. And then you see the names like Jessica, Ashley and Sarah and Samantha, and all these names were popular in the 1990s. And suddenly if you go towards 2000, year 2000, you will see that the name like Emily, Emma, these are the two most popular, and Emma was a very popular name at that time. And suddenly by 2010, by the end of 2000 decade, 2010, so you can see this is the structure of 2010. So when you see 2010, surprisingly, there was this name Olivia, which was not there in this entire scenario for so many decades, but suddenly this name came and then it became the top name of this particular year. And if you look at 2010 perspective, the top names are all new. So Isabella was not there. Emily was there in 1990s somewhere, but names like Margaret, Jennifer, Mary, and Linda, so these names are nowhere found in this particular top 10 names. So when you speak with data, so definitely people start listening to you, and that's what we do in our masterclass. So everything that we speak is with data, and data is the new source, the new oil, and it is actually the new, you can call it as the new companion of organizations to go hand in hand to the next decade or the next century, we can call it, right? This is one kind of visualization. So at one end, I'm just showing you how the census data looks like for this particular province. And at the other end, I am showing you 90 years of data using one chart. So it is all about the story that we are talking about. Similarly, when it comes to the play axis part, we have similar kind of visuals. Let me show you a data, which is the World Bank data, let's say. And it talks nothing. It just talks about the population, and it talks about health expenditure, and it talks about the life expectancy at birth, means the age, we can say. So ideally, as per statistics or as per our knowledge and understanding of the data, we know that the more you spend on health, the better is your age or expectancy at birth, right? So here we see there might be some differences. So what we do is we go to world data, and you see this is the world in 2015. So you can see United States over here, Luxembourg, then Japan. So if you just hover around, and you can see that Japan and the average expenditure in USD that they make as on 2015 was around $4,000. And the age is almost around 84 years. Total population is this, and the year is 2015. Look at some of this. So you can see that there are some countries who are at this stage, and there are some countries at the top age also. So these are the countries where the expenditure on health is also high and the life expectancy is also high. But there are some countries like Spain, so they are not spending too much as compared to, let's say, US or Luxembourg, but their age expectancy is higher. You can call it as the life expectancy or the age is also higher. Was this the case throughout? That's the question. And then what happens? We go back and we come here at 2002. So we are now about to see of 13 years. This is a very small period of time, 2002 to 2015, very small period. But just to give you some insights on how do you speak with data. So that energy should be coming up whenever we are talking with data. That's the objective of this particular special module that we have kept in this entire journey. So let's talk about that. So 2002, you can see countries like Turkey, Estonia, Hungary, they were here. And countries like US and Luxembourg were already here. So they had good expectancy at birth, but at the same time they were spending also high amount. Let's consider this particular countries and start to play this axis. And you will see over the period of time, so 2002, so now what happens, 2003, and you can see some of the countries like US is going towards a tangent like this, whereas some of the countries are going up direction like this. So all these countries who were lying over here in 2002, so I'm talking from the perspective of this, so they all got better healthcare, but at a low cost. So their expectancy went high and at a low cost. So this is the fundamental idea behind using play axis. Now let's take an example. We just click on some of the countries and then see how they have moved over 13 years. So I click on this country called Estonia. And if you just see it over here, so this is Estonia, and you can see how Estonia has traveled from 2002 to 2015, and there's a steep incline over here that you can see. Whereas if you click on US, so you can see that the inclination is towards the right and not towards the up. So which means that the expenditure that were done, the average health expenditure has increased, but accordingly the life expectancy at birth has not increased over here. Something very interesting in terms of Japan. So if you see, the expenditure that they do is almost half of that of US, but you can see the life expectancy at birth is increasing. So people are, alive for a longer period of time. That's what we can see. And every country has a good history over here. You can see here the inclination of Chile. So the expenditure has also increased and the life expectancy at birth has also increased. If you talk about Portugal, so sudden steep. So if you talk from the perspective of around 2008, after 2008-9, or you can say, call it as that time of, let's say, the downfall in the stock market or something, that crash. So after that, Portugal actually, they were able to curb on the expenditure, and you can see that the expectancy at birth, so which means that after that time, people became maybe more active. They started doing some regime that changed their expectancy at birth, but at the same time, they did not allow the expenditure on health to go up. So every country has got a different story over here. So this is what data analysis is all about primarily. So now what we will do is we will practice this. So we will be practicing this in our other data that we have got over here. So here we have a stats analysis where we have kept all the products. Now what we want is we want to play this over time. Now when we play this over time, so we have an option, so we can just click over here and then we see the play axis over here, and then we can bring in the date. So anything that is date can come to play axis. So we have date and we think that we can just bring in the date and it will work. But the problem is that date is too small a number to see details. So the data will always be staying over here because I am seeing per day data, which will not help me, right? So now what we need to do is we need to see maybe quarter wise or month wise data. Then only we will be able to see some jump or see some movement around this. But how will I make it quarter wise or month wise data? Let's try month wise data. So this cal date will not work for sure. So what we need to go we need to go to the date dimension. So you see, this is the date dimension. And then we have to bring in the month year part of it. So with only month will not work because it will only give you 12 data points, and only year will also not work because it will just give you 3 data points. So we need 12 data points multiplied by 3 years, which is almost around 30-35 data points, and we will see some movement in the chart and we will be able to track them properly the way we saw it in the stunning visuals. So now what we do is we bring in the column. So the problem is what column we will bring. So let's take an example. We use month year. Very, very simple. Month year. And we use the function called format. This is the same function that we had. And it will take the cal date. And then it is asking for format. There what we will do is we will give MMM-YYYY. And immediately you will see that it brings in the data. So June 96 to all the data we have got. Now the problem is that we can get this text over there in our play axis. So let's see what happens when we bring in the month year into the play axis. So you see that it starts from, so you can just let it go from here, and you can see it starts from April 97, then April 98, April 97, December. This is not the way it should work. So when I say month and year, it should go in order, the order that we know. So April, May, June, July something, and not April, December, September like this, right? Why it is happening? This is the same issue that was happening in the other version of the data also. So wherein the month and year, what is happening is it is taking text value. So it is alphabetically ordering itself. So now what we need to do is we need to have another column, and then we need to sort this data based on that column. So watch this step very carefully. We have already discussed this. I am showing you the real life example and implementation of that particular concept. So now what you do is we bring in second time the same kind of column. We go to second new column, and then we say same month year, and this time we call it as month year num. And then what we do is we go to this option and we want format. We bring in this, and this time what we do is we take YYYY and MM, something like this, and let's see what happens. Awesome. So it gives me a number. So here and the month number, absolutely fine. Now what we do is we just have to do one task, because ordering can only be done only when the numbers, when the column is in a number position. So what we need to do is, instead of text, we say that we know this is a whole number. So we just convert it into whole number. It says, are you sure? I say yes. It converts. And the only next step that we have to do is we have to just inform that, hey, you know what? Whenever somebody tries to sort with month year, don't sort it by month year directly. Rather, go to sort by column and then say month year number. No changes in this particular data will happen. But if you go to your details and data, you will now see that the data has come properly. So now if you just switch on, so let's say we switch on this. So it starts from July, August, and then you see that things are increasing, January, February, like this, and then you can see how data is getting increased like this, right? So suddenly you will see how things are increasing. Now if you just look at a particular product, so you can see that it has hovered around here as well. But if you look at some other products like this, so you can see that it has moved a bit up. So this is your percentile line. You can now see which percentile your products are moving. So it has got many features and many options to showcase your data in a particular way, the way that can be easily demonstrated to the audience actually, right? So this is a live example of how the data can be moved across and play axis. Okay, so just to recap, so these were the features that we studied in this particular module, talking from the perspective of top end to the play axis and how to do the analysis, how to understand stats data. If we just remove all the filters and visualizations over here, then we should be able to find all the data at one place. So it depends on how you want to showcase the data and the details over here. So you can adjust the numerical values as well based on the requirement, and then what you can do is you can present it to the audience. So this is what we wanted to discuss as a part of module 7 part 2, total kind of analysis. This is all what we are doing is all analysis. There is more to it which we will be covering in part 3 of module 7. So let's come back and do that part.